CNBC contributor DeWardrick McNeil joins us now. He's a managing director, senior policy analyst at Longview Global. DeWardrick, great to get your take on this. Do you think that it gets worse? Do you think that when you take a look at other companies that do business in China, where there are alternatives in theory, that China will favor the home team or another team that's not a U.S. team?
Well, you raise an interesting point here, Melissa. The real question is, have we entered an escalatory, retaliatory, tit-for-tat cycle like we saw during the trade war? And if we have, and it's possible that we have, then there are some sectors, some companies that I think will have some challenges. I think in aviation, Boeing, I think China has an alternative in their mind. They're happy to play Airbus off of Boeing. They also have a domestic brand, the Comac C919 or C929 as well. So they think they have an alternative there. Automobiles, look, Tesla, we've been talking about this for quite some time. GM possibly are at risk with BYD. You know, just this past week, we saw BYD in Europe at the Munich Auto Show, and their message was, we're beating you in our home market, and we're coming to Europe to beat you in your market. So, you know, I think there are a lot of concerns here about whether or not we are, in fact, in this retaliatory cycle. And if we are, Melissa, even though companies may see themselves as multinational brands or global companies, frequently governments and citizens, particularly nationalist citizens with the rise in populist movements around the world, don't see companies as multinational. They see a flag attached to them. And if you go into China, you have to understand there are a lot of competitors there. You're going to have to get into a competition mindset. And the Chinese have their own widgets, and they're looking to sell them, not just in China, but in third markets as well.
DeWardrick, it's Karen. Thanks for being on. Is this some of this on the heels of Secretary Raimondo's visit? What kind of happened? Because it seemed like the rhetoric escalated after that.
Look, I think the Chinese have been sort of hot under the collar for quite some time about the way their businesses have been treated. And this was a great way with the Huawei announcement moving to 7 nanometers, something that the Commerce Department actually has been very involved in terms of the chip ban. All of this is coincidental, but too coincidental for those of us who watch China. I think the timing here says a lot about what China is looking to do. And it's really to send a signal that we are not going to be stopped. You can slow us down, but that we will continue to do what it takes to have indigenous development, to be self-reliant to the degree that we can. And this is the challenge, Karen. I'm not sure if they're going to win this over the long term, but I think they certainly feel comfortable that they sent a strong signal right after Secretary Raimondo's trip.
And DeWardrick, it's Tim. You've also said in your notes, I thought this was fascinating. It's kind of what you're saying here. China rarely takes actions that will harm China with no alternative. Is the point now that Huawei's ready? Is the point now that we really feel like we've actually, and you know, this phone sold out in hours, and it's priced below Apple at a time when the consumer's under pressure. And it's not a low-cost phone. I mean, it's $965. But is the point that Huawei's ready to challenge? And as you say, China would be okay if they had to actually push, on in a world where there was really more opposition to Apple.
Yeah, I think that's the message here, Tim. I'm not sure that they are ready. I think, you made a point before I came on about sort of right-sizing this news. This Mate 60 is an impressive phone. I think it surprised Washington for sure, but it's 7 nanometers. Apple, in a couple of days here, will debut their 15 Pro. That's a 3 nanometer chip. So, there's still a lot of room here between 7 nanometers and 3 nanometers. But the Chinese are very comfortable that they don't have to be the best. They just have to be good enough to dominate their market. And quite frankly, the Mate 60 Pro may be at 7 nanometers just good enough, Tim. So that's the question that I think we have. But it certainly got the attention of many here in Washington. So we may see, when Congress returns, a discussion about a broader yard and a taller fence, as Jake Sullivan likes to say about small yards and high fences here.
So last quick question to Wardrick, because we're just about out of time. But it sounds like you think this gets worse.
I'm fearful, Melissa, that we are entering into a tit-for-tat retaliatory cycle like we saw during the trade war. And to Tim's point, and I've made this point in my notes, China's going to look for places where they can do this, where they have an alternative. Think about what they did with soybeans. They had a reliable alternative with Brazil and Russia. And so they were prepared to really level on the tariffs for soybeans. You'll see some of the same action if we are, in fact, back in one of these escalatory, retaliatory ladders. I hope not, but I fear that we are.